All right, check this animation first. It's a clone of MetaMask. It's a kind of wallet provider for decentralized application. When we scroll down, it has a card kind of that comes out, and it has a hover effect when we hover over it. I'll explain everything, and everything is coming into picture just by scrolling, right? And when we hover over it, it has this kind of effect. So the website is, till now, I decided to record the video and explain the code for the animations that I have written up until now, because if I add more details and then explain it in one single video, it will become quite lengthy and long video. Instead, I decided to divide each and every single video into separate parts so I can explain it in a better way and give time to individual sections. So coming to the main part, like first when we kind of load it, it has this loading screen which is kind of an origami paper fold effect, right? And that particular animation I have created using GSAP and some CSS tweaking using polygon clip path and rotating each and every dev elements. And I'll explain you each and every code. But first, let's understand the structure of the code. If you don't know, my name is Rohan, and I am a software developer, a remote software developer, and a freelance developer. I provide codes that you can implement in your front end to make it look much more better. So make sure to follow me and subscribe this channel and stay connected for more. Let's jump into the main part of the video. So first, in this Nextjs application, what we have is the layout file, and in this, the header I have added directly into the root. We'll go into it later. And this is just a general structure. The animation that occurs into the header section is when we scroll down, this kind of button along with the menu bar pops up. But when we scroll up, this one pops up, like the other nav bar pops up. So for both of them, we have first ref and second ref, right? That will pop up based on the scroll positioning. Now I'll explain that, but first let's go to the structure of the hero section. It's quite small, only this text that are visible, and along with the animations, that is a whole different story in the use GSAP hook. And here we have this individual words that are separated and added into it, into the div. And then we have the button, this one, right? I've created it as a common button component that whenever we use, we can use it. So let's go through the other part of it. First was the hero section, which I showed you right now here. Wait. Yeah, it's loading now. All right. This is the button. This is the text which was being shown here. When we scroll down, we have this text-based element. This card, sorry, not text, but the card. This card has a different component, which is here available. You might think that why we are only showing a single card. Why are we having this much line of code? It's not just this single card. Instead, we have, when we scroll down, we have other elements also, and all of them are added here only because there's one rule that I'll explain you in the later part of the video, that you can keep it as a thumb rule, that whenever we do scroll based animation, that should be kept in mind always, regardless of whatever animation that you're doing, right? So that's why I kept everything here only, every animation that is going to happen. And next we have these components. First is this one. When we hover over it, this kind of comes, and this hover based animation happens in GSAP using observer API that GSAP already provides. We'll discuss it today. And then we have, like, that this hover animation is happening on the component named this bicell card. We have buy sell swap and everything, and all the components. And next we have this one and this hover effect. So you might think how this element is getting triggered this way, the 3D kind of effect. I am using one of the API npm package, which is the React parallax tilt. I'm providing you the code in the description. You can check all of the npm packages that I have used. Till now I have used this only. It's only 30% complete, the project. As I keep on adding into the GitHub repo, you can keep checking into it as I'll update the YouTube also. So let's go through the animation first. First, we have the loading screen. Understanding loading screen is one of the important thing, because it's not just one component. There are multiple layers of component that are there, and all are positioned in the absolute positioning. I'll show you. Wait. For this, you need to have a very much decent understanding of CSS. I'm not going to explain the CSS part in that much detail, but I'll try to keep things. Or if I think that you might need to understand this, and then I'll explain. Otherwise, I'll ask you to chat GPT it. You'll understand it in a better way there. So in this, I'll explain it with the help of a Excalidraw, how I have used to create the loading screen. And I provide these kind of projects, so you make sure to follow me. And if you have any doubts, you can just message me in the Twitter, or comment down your thoughts in the description, in the comment section. Yeah. Okay. So we have two layers in this animation, that the loading screen that's happening right now. First is this three. This three is the kind of base layer, and on top of it, these uh, 3 to 5 and sixth, no, 5 slide kind of stuff are there. Slide 5 div elements. In total, there are 8 div elements that are working here in order to create this kind of effect. Timeline, on the basis of timeline using GSAP. If I'm sure you might have heard about the timeline which we are using here, right? So let's understand the structure of it. So first, top layer, we are using almost of 5 div elements, and this div elements are in position like this. First, it is positioned here, and second in the middle. On bottom, I have left this section empty because that part will be covered with the second layer, which is here. You might think these two are different layers. No, they are on top of each other. And first, top layer gets animated, and then the base layer gets animated. On the main screen, it kind of looks something like this. They are both on top of each other. So you might question that every div element kind of becomes like a rectangle shape. How am I creating this kind of weird kind of shape? So two things I'm using. First is clip path polygon. It's kind of a CSS concept. And next I'm using the rotating concept, right? You just rotate the elements. That's how I'm doing it. And overflow is hidden everywhere. That's why the horizontal scroll and vertical scroll is not happening in the loading section. So first what happens is this two div elements, this two gets animated, like going, this one goes upwards as the arrow suggests, and this one goes downwards. So if you see here, there are first two things that goes top and bottom simultaneously like this. And we have a triangle that shows up here, right? How is it possible? Because it has the second layer which shows up here. And when this happens, after this what happens is this and this goes in the horizontal direction. Let's check it again. Goes, and then it kind of fades. So this was the second step. And when this one goes to the left side, at the same time this second layer's component also goes to the left side, and in the simultaneously these two go together to the right side. As you can see, when these two elements goes right side together, what will happen is the element behind it will be getting visible, this triangle polygon shape. Is it visible here? Let's see. When this is the first second, when it goes, you see a triangle. It's the base layer, the second layer, that kind of shows up. Because all of the colors are same, you are not able to distinguish it. If you just change the color here, loading screen here, this one, loader bg, instead of this, if you change all the colors, bg red, 500, uh, bg red, 800, bg blue, um, anything, you'll see the actual shape that is present over there. I'll show you. Yeah, you see this one is at the bottom. For the first time it will, yeah, you saw that triangle was blue colored, right? Similarly, other sections are also present. The way that animation happens, I'll show you how it happens actually. So let's go to the loading animation. Every structure has been defined here. Like initially when we are using when we are showing MetaMask, the screen, if you saw that icon that was being displayed initially, first what happens is it kind of fades up and then fades down. For that we have this from to element. After that the slide 6 and slide 8 kind of vertically drops and pops up together. How it is happening? Because of this too. But you might question that we are using timeline and these two are getting like these two are using two different separate blocks to get animated. But in order for them to happen together, what I have used is this arrow operator. So when I define this arrow, it means the above one, this and this will happen together. Slide 6 and slide 8 kind of dropped and went upward together. Next will be slide 4 and slide 1, that will be shifted to the negative of x at minus 120 degrees. What, that's exactly what was happening. First this animation and then on the negative side. Simultaneously to the negative of x, the slide 5 and slide 7, which are on the right side, should shift to the positive x axis with the 120 value, and these two should happen together. That's why I have added a kind of arrow block. So when you kind of refresh it, the these two animation happens together. After that, that kind of shape that it takes out is done using polygon. Initial shape was defined as this, like it's not exactly the rectangle, as we are using 60% and 0 and then 100% 0. I would ask you to chat gpt how clip path polygon works. It's not a css video, that's why I'm not explaining it here, but it's quite easy to understand. As soon as you understand it, you'll understand the complete code. And similarly, like that clip path helps a lot in these kind of animation kind of stuffs which you saw at the moment, like this animation, first, second, and then this kind of shape away. So that was the loading screen that happens. Like all the structure, that div elements are getting loaded in the clip path manner only, like that polygon shape formation. And for that only these all polygon shapes are being added. You can use it directly. And after that, after almost 2 seconds of getting animated, this text kind of appears. For this we have animation in the hero section, which is animate title. Quite simple one. I just took all the letters and from opacity of 0 to uh, opacity of 1. Where's opacity? Yeah, here only. And x value, it kind of shifts like from a negative of 15 to kind of positive of 15, it kind of shifts. I'll show you. First, it kind of yeah, see the text animation, it kind of shifts. That's what happens. And after that, the next animation is the card one, like it kind of 3D manner comes into the picture. How does it happen? I'll show you in the page card. All right, so we have this card, this one. If you see, this is the code for the card, and the tilt is used to add 3D effect when you hover over it. And let's go through the animation first. uh, Here is the card one, and let's go through the animation. All right, so in this card, first what we have defined is first the scroll trigger, because we are using scroll based animation. So first we defined the scroll trigger based on the timeline, and then the card component, we did was initial opacity we kept 0. As you can see, the initial opacity is 0, and we kept it on a 3D position. Like, we rotated from the y-axis as 60 degree, right? The y-axis 60 degree, and from the x-axis as 45 degree. It kind of kept was it was kept at a 3D position, and the perspective was kept as 2300. Transform origin center top, and from this position, what we did was we uh, animated it to opacity of 1 and initial position with rotation of 0 on the x-axis and y-axis also. So when you scroll, it kind of from 45 and 60 degree kind of comes into the picture like this. And this hover effect is due to that npm package. And when as we keep scrolling, this everything wallet kind of comes into the picture, this card title. And initial opacity 0 and scale 1 to 1.2, it kind of uplifts a bit from 1 to 1.2, and then it kind of shrinks down to 0.7. As you can see, with opacity 0 to when it comes into the with opacity 1, it kind of scales up, and then it scales down, right? And then the background of this gets blurred. How is it happening? The card components will opacity will get to 0. After that, the border will get highlighted, this border, right? And after that, as soon as it happens, the slide contents will get like visible. And who are these slide contents? I'll show you. In the card, we have this. Wait. Slide contents, yeah, these elements, the buy sell card and the this one, yeah, this one, trade nft card, it will get visible. How? Like this. So first we have this buy sell card, and this the second one is that trade nft card, which is still in development. And yeah, this animation is still left, right? When we hover over it, how does all of this animation happens? Because in css there is only one property. When you hover over a single element, that particular element will only get animated or something. That there is no much of things that you can do using pure css, but using GSAP observer, you can do a lot more. Let's see how. We have buy sell card, and in this the design is pretty simple, which is available here, right? So in the card hover animation, what we do is we register a plugin named observer, right? When you install GSAP, it will be already there. You don't have to install anything else. Just install GSAP and GSAP React, and it will be there. Then what we do is we create a main target, like what is the main thing that we are going to hover, based on which the other element will get triggered, right? So when we hover over a purple card, this purple card is what I'm taking it as a target. The other elements will get hovered. Pretty simple, right? Type is pointer based, that this one defines that we are using hover effect instead of anything else, like dragging effect also, and there are a lot more. You can check the documentation also. And it has more of effects rather than just hover effects, like drag effects and scroll effects and all of that stuff. And on hover, what we do is the pay USD element will be scaled to 0 and opacity also 0. Which one? This pay USD which you see now, this one, it will be like when you hover over it, it kind of slow shrinks down and kind of fades away, right? And the pay ETH which you see here, it kind of diagonally goes y as in negative direction and x also in negative direction. Let's see, the subtitle will get also changed. Okay, and this ETH one, that I was talking about, y also negative, x also negative on top left corner, and ease is back dot out. And duration, I've kept all of them as the same. We don't need this Z90. I was trying to do some stuff, that's why, but we don't need it. Yeah. Okay, similar to other things also, we added GSAP, swap USD, all the animations that you see, it's pretty much easy now, like the way it has been integrated. Swap icon which we used, this swap icon, it will be like rotated and went up, right? So the same, like y will be in a negative direction and rotate it as 180-degree. Duration of simple, zero point 0.5 milliseconds, no seconds, sorry. And the purple card will be like increased, the height got increased, and this kind of showed up. So this is quite simple, and this is just on hover, like we have to define on hover end also, otherwise that will be the final code only, like it won't change after hover. In order to position it to its original position, you have to define unhover end also, and here we are defining all the initial positions. It's quite simple and easy to integrate, which you can use it in your projects. And that was it for today. If you have any doubts, you can comment down your thoughts and reach me out. I'll make sure to clear out your doubts also. And if you're new, make sure to follow. I post these kind of videos which you can implement in your front end to make it look more beautiful. And yeah, that was it. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Thank you.